Well, get this. Lawmakers in Washington state clashing over parental rights in education as Democrats work to make some changes, including adjusting requirements to allow schools 48 hours before they must notify parents if something happens to their kids. Washington House GOP leader Chris Corey saying when you're not willing to give notification if there's been an issue with your kid at school, parents are going to question, what are you doing and what are your motives for not telling me what's going on? Tiffany Smiley is the founder of Endeavor PAC and former U.S. Senate candidate. Of course, you're from Washington State. It's good to see you again. So, wait, what is happening? How did this turn out this way?
Well, look, when you have a governing majority, who votes against parents being informed if their child is a victim of sexual misconduct, whether by an employee, a teacher, or someone of authority, you can just see how out of touch the Democrats in Washington state are. They're more worried about pushing their woke radical agenda than they are protecting children here in this state. And I wish I had better news to share about Washington state. We are, in fact, the only state in the country that went more left instead of right. So we have a lot of work to do. It was just last year that legislators actually passed an initiative that changed the language in the law that gave parents authority and rights to know right away of the safety of their children. And this is all being undone. They're undoing the will of the voters. And Dana, what's unfortunate about it is this is what creates apathy in voting. So we don't have a great turnout in voting here in Washington state, but these kind of antics are exactly what caused that, because people feel like their voice is not being heard. At the end of the day, it comes down to common sense and protecting our kids. And we have a lot of work to do here.
Okay, so I want to read this to you. This is from Democratic State Representative Marcia Stonier. I hope I'm saying that correctly. She said the 48 hours gave time for school officials and law enforcement, if necessary, to get the facts clear so that accurate information is provided to the right adults who are responsible for that child. And here's State Senator Jamie Peterson. This is just incredible. Listen here.
Kids over 13 have the complete right to make their own decisions about their mental health care. Parents don't have a right to have notice. They don't have a right to have consent about that.
Is that really what they think?
Yeah, they do. Unfortunately, I hate to say that. I'm a mom of 3 boys, and I can tell you that 13-year-old boys absolutely need parents or a guardian or someone who's guiding them through life. This is absolute insanity. There's no common sense. There's no adults sitting at the table here in Washington state. And so I hope voters realize that it does matter who you vote for. This affects our daily life. It affects the future of our children. And I hope that Democrats wake up and realize that they're actually undoing the will of the voters. It's a slap in the face to democracy, Dana, and it has to change.
Can I just add one other thing? Could you please play call for number 1 for Tiffany here?
The underlying bill essentially states that schools can wait 48 hours before they tell parents if their children were involved in any kind of criminal action or if there was any sexual misconduct of staff. We have seen a stunning amount of sexual misconduct and sexual assaults by educators in our schools just in the last year itself.
Well, that's certainly very disturbing. Let me give you a quick last word, Tiffany.
Yeah, it's extremely disturbing. Look, as a parent, we deserve to know right away. You can look at the statistics. Kids are more successful when their parents are involved, and clearly they're safer. What Washington state is doing, the legislators in the governing majority, is putting their woke ideologies ahead of our children. It has to stop. We need common sense in Washington state. We need leadership. I do have hope for Washington state. I think there's still a chance to turn this around in the future, but we have to put our kids first. And the Democrats are it's a slap in the face to democracy for a party that talks about democracy all the time. It's time that we put our children first.
Tiffany, it's great to see you again. Glad you're still in the mix here. Thanks so much.
Okay. Thank you, Dana.
Okay, now, so Kendrick Lamar proven he's not like us. Clever. That's today's Hammer Celebrity News. Here we go.